Beatlemania hits the United States. With sex, drugs, and rock and roll, the 60s shake American values. The work ethic, military duty, even family life are under attack. The Cold War continues, but for a generation, it's time to make love, not war. In 1960, America was moving towards the peak of its prosperity and power. The Democrats' choice to run for president was young Jack Kennedy, good-looking son of an Irish-American multimillionaire.
The Kennedy family, but Jack in particular and Jackie especially as well, just seemed to be the natural fulfillment of the American political process. They seemed to be the best that the process could bring forward and represented a new and glittering age.
You have to make your decision of what you want this country to be, what you want Illinois to be, how ready you are to move this country forward. That is the question which separates Mr. Nixon and myself.
Kennedy brought in a sense of excitement and youth after the kind of the sleepy Eisenhower years, and almost seemed to symbolize this, youth passion.
The Republican Party choice, Vice President Richard Nixon, shared Kennedy's patriotic anti-communist fervor, but he had not been groomed for television.
The whole business of presenting visuals became very, very important. The Kennedy family put up hundreds of thousands of dollars, equipped a bus. It had film crews aboard, and they would go wherever John Kennedy was appearing and film him. And then those films became a part of his advertising on television. It was the first time that had really been done in an effective and organized way.
Kennedy had attacked Eisenhower's conduct of the Cold War. To America and the world, he proclaimed,
"Let every nation know, whether it wishes us well or ill, that we shall pay any price, bear any burden, meet any hardship, support any friend, oppose any foe, to assure the survival and the success of liberty."
Kennedy increased the military budget. Defense contracts brought the military-industrial complex unparalleled strength and riches. It meant more jobs.
The Cold War was the noblest of enterprises, and it fit right in with the need for technologists like myself and the need for the government-sponsored programs that were opposing the Soviet advances.
Attitudes were interesting at that time, because the defense industry and its budgets seemed to be based on the fact that the Russians were 10 feet tall. Most of us were very hawkish about things. This is our life. I mean, our well-being, our sustenance was dependent on the defense industry.
America was booming. The state of California, where much of the aerospace industry was based, became the 6th largest economy in the world.
The big thing in those days was get into missiles, get into spacecraft, get into satellites. Big things are happening, and they're all happening out in California.
Friends of ours were going to California because Hughes, we understand, was building up Electronics Place, and Disneyland was hiring. And work was bad in Chicago in 56, 57, so we decided to move out here.
Roll out those lazy, hazy, crazy days of summer, those days of soda and pretzels and beer. Roll out those lazy, hazy, crazy days of summer. You'll wish that summer could always be here. Roll out those lazy, hazy, crazy days of summer, those days of soda.
Post-war settlers in California left behind the decaying cities of the East. They found suburban life in the sun affordable, idyllic.
We would hang around the sales office until we saw the new plot map go up, and then we picked out the lot that we wanted. And talking with the sales agent, he told us that Sunday morning we're going to open this tract for buyers. And we said, what time are you opening Sunday morning? He told us. We went to church early that day. By 8 o'clock, whenever he opened his doors, we were first in line. And for $200 cash check written, why, we were in the place.
We paid $10,999, which you tell somebody back in Chicago and that, and they think it was you were buying a barn, you know. And it was nice. It was 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, and we increased. We had to we put a block wall fence. We put a patio out there, and we put in the corner of our backyard, we put like the desert, we put a little cactus and stuff so we remind we're living in California.
This good life was not available to all Americans.
The question came up about selling these homes to members of minorities, ethnic minorities, blacks specifically. We were assured that we did not have to worry about anything of the sort happening, that the tract simply was not selling to blacks.
The Constitution and the Bill of Rights had not removed the wedges of prejudice that were driven through American society. Black Americans, too, wanted freedom. Where Kennedy meant freedom from communism, they meant freedom from hunger, from fear, from humiliation.
We looked at racism by degree, you know. So if you lived in St. Louis, you say, well, it could have been worse. You could be in Mississippi. You know, if you lived in Mississippi, you say, well, we lucky they didn't kill us all. That type of piece. And so consequently, and if a black person rose up and fought back, they say he's crazy nigga. Even black folks say he's crazy.
Now somebody had to say, hey, it's all right when something is wrong to say it's wrong. And in a democracy, if something's wrong and you say it's wrong, you can gather to petition your government to tell them it's wrong. And you know what? If you do, they might do something about it. That's essentially what the Civil Rights Movement was about.
You better keep your eyes on that prize. Hold on, hold on.
In many southern states, laws prevented blacks and whites traveling together, eating together, even going to the same school.
So keep your eyes on that prize. Hold on, hold on.
Black Americans were denied jobs and the right to vote. Civil rights activists demonstrating against unjust laws were careful not to provoke the police by any display of aggression. They were beaten just the same. It wasn't the first time armed whites had assaulted unarmed blacks, but now television was watching. Discrimination against blacks damaged America's credibility as freedom's champion in the Cold War. Kennedy was being urged by his brother, Attorney General Bobby Kennedy, to back the civil rights movement. Aware that he needed the votes of white Southerners, Kennedy found it difficult to commit himself. August 28, 1963, a civil rights rally at the Lincoln Memorial in Washington urged the White House to ban racist laws and give black Americans equal job opportunities. A 250,000 people showed up to listen to a 34-year-old Southern Baptist minister.
Let freedom ring, and if America is to be a great nation, this must become true. And so let freedom ring.